What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the morning movie chat right here on the Second Street Marvel. I am your host, Trinity. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you're all having a very, very, very good day. Now, here we are in the second Monday of January, January 13th, 2020. Got a few things I want to cover today. First of all, I want to say thank you all so much for tuning in, and don't forget, recently there was all the Oscar nominations did recently just drop. If you haven't got a chance to check out those list of nominations, feel free. There are some links down in the description where you can go and check out my good friend LB over at the Lonely Banter, where he did a live stream this morning talking a little bit more about that. Also, down in the description are some links if you would like to donate to the channel via Streamlabs, direct donation, or even become a monthly Patreon supporter. That would be greatly appreciated. Again, nothing you have to do, but we do have a growing membership. We got a few new members over there as well. So, again, thank you to all those people who are Patreon supporters, because these live streams are brought to you by my Patreon supporters. Again, thank you all so much for being here. Let's see who is all in here today. It looks like we got Vlad Wright here this morning. Hello, how are you doing? Eli Gray, good morning. He says, hey Trinity, I watched your War Council video with Mad Max. Wanted to offer some thoughts on how to build your audiences, if that's cool with you, good sir. I am totally open to suggestions, Eli. Feel free to drop those anywhere you would like. You can get a hold of me here on the channel. On the About section, you can check out my email, or you can even get a hold of me via Facebook, Instagram, or even Twitter. Thank you so much for being here. Eric Rigsby, thank you so much for being here. Fanjecture as well. Fanjecture, there's also a link down there for Fanjecture's website as well. I believe tomorrow evening he will be going live to do some interactive movie talk and things like that. So I think it's something you guys should definitely check out there. I think he's seems like he's got a pretty good thing going on, and would definitely be a lot funner to see more people involved with that. Let's see. Vlad Rice says still waiting. Yeah, sorry. I was a few minutes late. I was getting my workout in on my trainer, and then I had to make my morning coffee. Vlad Rice says, I wonder what decision made them agree on Captain Marvel 2. We'll get into that in just a second here. Lorena Creole says, where's Trinity at? Sorry. Just a few minutes late. I do apologize. Eli Gray says Matrix 4. I can't wait to see the new Matrix that they are going to be coming out with. I'm a huge fan of the original Matrix trilogy, and yes, I say trilogy because I liked all of them. And if LB from the Lonely Banter was here, he'd say Trinity likes everything. Tristan Duvall's Marvel Cinematic Universe. Hello, thank you so much for being here. Vlad Rat says he making boom boom, I think. Yo Varods, thank you so much for being here. Sir Nerdalot, thank you so much for being here as well. Hi Leia Comic Bro, good morning. Tristan Duvall's Marvel Cinematic Universe says the Morbius trailer drop in this morning. Yeah, supposedly it's supposed to be dropping here by about the end of this show. So we'll see if that ends up showing up here. Something maybe we can talk a little bit more about. But how are you guys feeling about the Morbius trailer? Are you guys excited for Morbius? Is it something you want to see, or is it something you're probably kind of like me? It's like, it sounds okay. I'll go see it when it comes out. Let's see, Maverick Pilgrim, thank you so much for being here. I just seen Maverick over at the Den of Nerds live stream as well. Maverick says, I got the boss in the office today, so probably just a listener. No problem, man, no problem. Fanjecture says dark roast. As a matter of fact, it is. It's what I'm drinking is called Calf. Maybe it's not a dark roast. It might be a medium, but it's called Calf. It's from Bulletproof. Yeah, see, this isn't even a sponsored video other than my awesome Patreon supporters, but it's from Black Rifle Coffee Company. And it's a keto coffee. I'm getting back into that keto lifestyle here for the next 90 days. I'm going to go strict. Coffee Breath says, someone say coffee? Yes. Two Brothers Comics, thank you so much for being here. Kermit the Log, thank you so much for being here as well. Okay, now, the first thing that I want to get into here is something that was brought to my attention. I was here on YouTube the other day, and I seen Entertainment Hacker. I'm not sure if you guys know who he is. I seen him drop this video the other day, and I'm like, really? This is some interesting things going on, some interesting happenings out there for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And today, we're going to talk about that, and that is Captain Marvel 2. there's some recent rumors flying around about this new movie getting ready to come out, and let's go ahead and get into that. There's this article here. I went back and traced these sources. This is something you guys have to do if you guys want to get legitimate news sources out there. You gotta go check out where all these things are coming from. And I believe he got this story from Josiah Rises, another YouTuber, here on this platform. And so I tracked it all down. I got on the internet. I did some research, something that obviously these other people did not do. Imagine that. But right here, it's on sausageroll.com. It says, meet the writer of the highly anticipated Captain Marvel 2 movie. And I'm not going to go through all this. I don't believe in reading articles. To me, it's insulting my intelligence and your intelligence to sit here and read you articles all day long. You have eyes. You know how to read. I don't think you're stupid. You could go and check this out for yourself. But this is written by Arena Rose on January 9th, 2020 is when this story first popped up. And let's go ahead and walk through this. Look at that lovely picture there of Kelly Sue DeConnick and Brie Larson. Sometimes movies are a reflection of the writer's worldviews and opinions, and sometimes they aren't. Regardless, it is interesting to see who's behind the upcoming Captain Marvel sequel. I'm assuming that they're talking about Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige there. Captain Marvel 2, albeit confused story progression, has been confirmed. As a matter of fact, Disney have even hired someone to pen the script, someone who is overwhelmingly passionate about the film's message. Who is she? Meet the Captain Marvel 2 writer Kelly Sue DeConnick. She is an uber-feminist, never Trumper, pro-Iranian and Islam activist, but most importantly, an avid comic book reader, massive nerd, and passionate geek. She may not be a seasoned screenwriter, but what she lacks in experience, she makes up for in passion. Kelly is a champion for women's rights. She embodies Captain Marvel, an acquaintance of the writer told us. Kelly Sue was also a prominent figurehead in the Gamergate and the less heard of Comicsgate movement, who worked tirelessly alongside Anita Sarkeesian to eradicate toxic masculinity from male-dominated video game and comic book culture. Okay, guys, first off, I want to go ahead and just start off with, for one, we can obviously tell somebody here is telling a narrative. Probably part of the reasons why you shouldn't look to this as a source. This is Sausage Roll. I'm not saying that they don't have legitimate sources out there or anything. Maybe they do. But for one, we can start off here with, right at the very beginning, see who is behind the upcoming Captain Marvel sequel. It says, Captain Marvel 2, albeit confused story progression, has been confirmed. Okay, we know they're making a Captain Marvel 2. That's, plain and simple. That's anybody knows that. Then it goes on here to say, meet the writer of Captain Marvel 2, Kelly Sue DeConnick. She's an uber feminist, never Trumper. Okay, they're talking about her personal politics here. This writer of Captain Marvel 2. This stuff is irrelevant. It says, but most importantly, an avid comic book reader, massive nerd, and passionate geek. Okay, she might be a comic book reader. I'm sure she reads comic books. She's a comic book writer. She wrote the current iteration of Captain Marvel. She is the one who started the whole Carol Danvers Captain Marvel storyline. Okay. So she's more than just that. Them failing to mention that is one reason why I would definitely say that you need to go ahead and discount this information, this source. These people are obviously, they dive into the writer's personal politics here, something that I can guarantee you the writer of this article doesn't like seeing either, right? Everybody hates the personal politics in these movies and comic books and things, but you want to bring it up in your article. Completely irrelevant. Okay, so guys, for one, Sausage Roll, this is not a legitimate source. Anybody using this source, like Josiah Rises and even Entertainment Hacker, I am calling bullshit. Find some better sources. Next one I found on the internet was here from newsbusters.org. Captain Marvel sequel to be written by pro-Iranian anti-Trump feminist. Oh, really? Written by Gabriel Hayes on January 10th, 2020. Apparently, Disney and Marvel's next installment in the comic book movie series Captain Marvel promises to be even more woke than the first outing. If you're reading articles where people are using the word woke, just, this you're not looking at a legitimate source, somebody who's not certainly Not a great source anyway. And if it seemed possible, just know that the newly announced writer is an uber feminist and pro-Iranian, in addition to being rabidly anti-Trump. Talk about agenda-driven and edgy. Wow. Talk about agenda-driven and edgy in this article. Okay, for one, once again, it says newly announced writer. Who announced it? Who announced it? Did Kevin Feige announce it? If so, please feel free to drop me a link down in the description or down in the comment section on this video right here while we're live, or even if you're watching this on replay. Please send me an article where Kevin Feige said that Kelly Sue DeConnick is the writer of Captain Marvel 3. Or Captain Marvel 2, I'm sorry. According to pop culture blog site Sausage Roll, well, there we go right there. There's no need to read any further. But we're going to go ahead and do that. According to pop culture blog site Sausage Roll, the sequel to the movie about everyone's favorite super-powered female, sorry Wonder Woman, corporate doesn't think you're woke enough, is being written by a woman who is passionate about women's reproductive rights and regressive radical Islamist regimes. Wow, those things go hand in hand, don't they? Okay, guys, once again, this is another clickbait trash website you don't need to go to and read. Okay, so far, we've got 2 articles here that people are pushing their own agendas, right? Just get out of here with this bullshit once again. Just discount these people. The next one I have here, is by oneangrygamer.net. This sounds like a really good source for breaking news coverage, does it not? Captain Marvel 2's writer is pro-Iranian, anti-Trump, and feminist supporter of Anita Sarkeesian. Wow, man, it's like all of these articles have the same title on them. Posted on January 11th, 2020 at 11 p.m. by Billy D. Billy D. Thank you so much is this Billy D. Williams? I doubt it. He's probably got better sources than these people. Right here at the very beginning. Oh, look at that. Look, we got a nice picture of Kelly Sue DeConnick there, holding up some comic books, probably ones that she helped write. Because I can tell you that one right there, that's that one that says pretty there on the top, that's actually a book I believe she was writing. It says at the very top, update. According to The Quartering, this is another YouTube personality. This right here already lets you know you need to discount anything further in this article, okay? They're looking to The Quartering, who is a YouTube personality, not an actual news source, for information. According to The Quartering, he believes that the Sausage Roll article may be fake news. Okay, so we got it narrowed down to it was Sausage Roll where this started off at. It is not verified if it's entirely true or not, but it is one of those things where it's best to exercise caution. Right now, there's no definitive proof that the story is fake, unless Marvel or DeConnick come out and say it's fake. For one, that's a complete line of bullshit, okay? There's no definitive proof that the story is fake. Okay, yeah, there is definitive proof. This hasn't come out by any reliable news source. We know this is fake. This is rumors, okay? Unless Marvel or DeConnick come out and say it's fake. Okay, Marvel and Kelly Sue DeConnick, okay, Marvel and even the writer, if she was the screenwriter of this movie, they're not going to come out and say it's fake. That's not what they do. They don't come out here and take fan speculations and rumors and smash them. That's not their job. That's not what they do. They don't care about that. They care about making their movie. They care about writing their movie. They care about producing their movie. They care about promoting their movie. They're not out there debunking fan rumors, okay? So let's go ahead and continue on with this article. So in today's fake news operated atmosphere, take it with a grain of salt. Okay, so in today's, I'm debunking my own articles, all they're saying. They're debunking their own bullshit here. Original article. There are centrists out there still to this day willing to defend Captain Marvel. You don't have to be a centrist to defend it. I mean, let's just continue. Claiming the movie isn't that bad and Brie Larson is a queen that slays, whatever that millennial jargon means. However, for normal people who have a modicum, of common sense. You see, they try to sound smart here by using words that a guy who didn't graduate don't know. Of common sense when it comes to media entertainment. They will rightfully tell you that Captain Marvel sucked. Dingling donkey balls. Well, it's about to get worse because the writer of Captain Marvel 2 is a proud feminist and pro-Iranian anti-Trump supported Anita Sarkeesian while standing against pro-consumer revolts such as Gamergate and Comicsgate, blah 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 blah. Guys, do I even need to say anything more here? These articles are obviously by a bunch of clickbait websites, websites I don't normally go to and cover, but I did see this story the other day over on Entertainment Hacker. I seen one of his clickbait videos come up here, trying to clickbait people into rage, because that's what you have to do on YouTube is if you want to get views, you want to drive people to your website, you want to drive people to your Twitter, your Facebook, or your Instagram, you have to go with outrage, because that's the thing. That's the only thing that gets clicks. You can't put out legitimate news sources out there and, expect to get views, right? Guys, for one, Kevin Feige hasn't come out and announced the writer of Captain Marvel 2. He hasn't done it. He has not done it. There has been no official word from Kevin Feige or Marvel Studios, which is Kevin Feige, at all. Okay? So there's no need to take these stories with a grain of salt. There's just need to take these stories as this is a bunch of clickbait rags out there to promote and get you triggered and, pushing their own agenda while they are pushing an agenda in their very own articles. It's absolute bullshit. There's no reason to go to any of these sources and listen to one word they say. Okay, now I think now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and move on to the next. Topic here. We got the 2020 Oscar nominations being announced. As I said, I didn't really look a whole lot into this story or anything like that. Like I said, you can go check out the link down in the description where you can go watch my good friend LB from the Lonely Banter and see what he had to say about it. He did a live stream going through all of the nominations, and now it looks like Joker did get plenty of love out there, as well as this movie Parasite, which is one I haven't seen yet. But again, when it comes down to these award shows, I don't ever really pay attention to them. I get that a lot of people do. A lot of people tune in to see the drama and things like that. With people getting up there and getting their awards and espousing their political ideas, beliefs, and views on a public stage, because that's just the best place to do it, because that's what we all want to see. We want to see them going out there and talking about their own personal politics. But again, like I said, there's the nominations are out. Looks like there's it seems like all of the movies that I've seen that had nominations, be it for Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor, Actress, Screenplay, and all of these things, it looked like there was a lot of great candidates on there. I won't pretend to know anything about the Golden Globes, and I won't pretend to know anything about a lot of these movies, other than the fact that they all have seemed to be pretty good movies. Like I said, Parasite seemed to be a pretty good one. I know Joker was one of the breakout hits of the year. A lot of people not expecting it to be not expecting it to be as big as it was. Certainly, I don't think the studio was expecting that either. I did also see that Avengers Endgame got a nomination as well. I got to tell you guys know I'm a huge MCU fan, but let me tell you, honestly, is it worthy of any awards? Not really. It's not really. I mean, maybe for some visual effects, but that's really about it. Now the thing is like the movie has great visual effects, but there are there are scenes in there where you can tell you can tell that it's all the visual effects and things going on there. So for me, when it comes down to visual effects, like especially when you're in a CG environment, like they did a lot of the green screen and stuff when they're shooting a movie like that, like I should be able to not tell that it's fake. You know what I mean? And there's plenty that goes on in this movie that you can tell. I mean, it's plainly obvious that how much CG they used in it. But anyway, guys, I don't really want to go on to the Oscars very much and get into too much of that because, like I said, honestly, I don't know a whole lot about it. But Another thing that I wanted to let you guys know before we move on is supposedly that Morbius trailer is supposed to be dropping here towards the end of the show here, probably around 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which I believe that is going to be 11 a.m. if you're out on the East Coast. And I doubt that I'll be able to watch that here with you guys. I know that a lot of times you get content claims and things like that from YouTube when you go out there and do trailer reactions and stuff, but it is definitely something that we will cover, excuse me, in tomorrow morning's show. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But there have been rumors recently surrounding this movie where we see Jeremy Conrad from MCU Cosmic, who seems to be a pretty decent source. I won't say that he's always been right, and I can't say that he's always been wrong, but he does seem to have his sources and can usually has his ear to the ground when it comes to those kinds of things. But one of the things that he had announced was that not only is the Morbius trailer going to be dropping soon, but that there will obviously be some Easter eggs and things like that for Spider-Man here in this movie. Now, in case you guys don't know, Spider-Man is owned by Sony, and he happens to be in the MCU out of a collaboration between Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios, or Disney, if you will. So that's how Spider-Man is happening to be there. I'm sure most of you guys know that, but I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who are casual fans who do not know these things. So it was a deal that was struck by these two companies. If you guys don't remember, last year around, what was it, August, when there was that whole debacle that Spider-Man was no longer going to be in the MCU, and fanboys went crazy. And I got to tell you guys, it's not that big a deal, okay? People want to act like Sony done such a bad job with all of their movies. Okay, go look at the box office for those movies. They all did really well in the box office. Okay, you could say they were all pretty successful. And all the movies, no matter how you feel about it, they're all pretty good movies, you know? Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy is one of the movies that, like, if it wasn't for those movies, and not to discount what Bryan Singer and Fox did with the X-Men, you know, when they launched that back in 2000, not to discount that at all, but Sam Raimi is one of the guys who went out there and really brought in kind of what the MCU is doing now, being a little more over the top and fantasy, integrating some of the CGI and things like that, you know, with the high-flying theatrics and things like that. So definitely, you know, he did them, and you know, the X-Men did a lot of groundbreaking work for the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it today. So anybody out there, you know, I get we all like certain things, we don't like certain things, but anybody out there who is telling you that the Spider-Man movies, whether it's Sam Raimi's Spider-Man or even who's the guy? Mark Webb? Is it Mark Webb who did the Amazing Spider-Man 2? Anybody telling you those movies are trash, they're that's their own personal opinions, but the movies largely did good at the box office, and they're actually pretty decent movies. Now, I can tell you, Amazing Spider-Man 2, it's not that great of a movie, but it's really not as bad as a lot of people will have you believe. That one and even Spider-Man 3 do suffer from, you know, just writing deficiencies and, you know, some of the storytelling, but all in all, the Spider-Man movies have been pretty successful and helped pave the way for where we are today in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But the one thing that Jeremy Conrad was saying is that they are apparently going to be somewhat crossing over these two universes with Spider-Man from the MCU into the Morbius movie, because there are some leaked images where we see a Spider-Man poster in the background and things like that, and the poster itself actually looks like an image from the Spider-Man video game on the PlayStation. I'm not sure if you guys have played that. It's a really good video game. But now it only seems likely that they would put Easter eggs in there because, I mean, Sony owns the character. They have every single right to put that in there. But would it be the same Spider-Man that they are making in collaboration with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Marvel Studios? I honestly don't know. It's hard to say right now. I do know that along with these stories about the Morbius trailer, is a lot of people are talking about this quote that Kevin Feige had made. A while back, Kevin Feige had, in an interview, had went out there and said that he believes Spider-Man is about the only character who is I can't exactly remember the exact quote, but basically he said that he's the only character who would have the power to swing back and forth between the two universes. Now, what's happening now currently is a lot of people are taking this out of context, where they are saying that Kevin Feige said that Spider-Man will be crossing over between the two universes, and that is absolutely not true. That is not what he said. Guys, words mean things, okay? Him implying that Spider-Man is one of the only characters who has the power to do that in the popularity, that's all that's saying, is that he really is one of the only characters who could do that, aside from Deadpool. Deadpool is one of those characters as well, to go back and forth between the universes. Now, him implying that is not him saying that Spider-Man is going to go swing back and forth between the two universes. Now, very well he could, because Sony owns the IP to Spider-Man, and they're just lending it to Marvel Studios. So sure, but one thing is for sure is he did not say that Spider-Man would be crossing over. And even if he does, I honestly kind of doubt that it's going to be the exact same version of Spider-Man crossing over. For one, they would probably make it a dimensional thing, you know, with the web of destiny and all that kinds of stuff. If you don't read the comic books, you might not know what I'm talking about. But if you did watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you probably have an idea. And that's really how it works, you know. So there's no real news here. There's no real news on this front, and seeing Spider-Man being mentioned in this trailer that should be dropping here in about a half hour is actually no surprise whatsoever. He is owned by Sony. And Morbius is a character that has had numerous Spider-Man appearances and has been a foe of Spider-Man. And in case you don't know, Morbius does have a little current mini-series going on in Marvel Comics right now, and I can't remember who is writing that series. I want to say, I can't remember if it's Vita Ayala or who it is. If you can remember, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. But I did do a review of Morbius, the Living Vampire issue 1 here not too long ago. But yeah, that's really all I have for that Marvel news. Like I said, guys, when you see a lot of these sources going out there, you know, you got your favorite YouTuber, and I'm not saying that these YouTubers out there that are, you know, they're no good or anything like that. I'm just saying that they are not going to the sources and qualifying that. They're just running with what they find and bringing you guys clickbait for you guys to eat up and maybe trigger you and pushing their own little narrative, okay? There's been no news on Captain Marvel 2. Now, I'll tell you, I'm one of these same people. I talk about these kinds of things. I give you guys my own speculations, my own theories and things like that. And I've been out there several times and said that I believe the next Captain Marvel movie is going to be Captain Marvel Civil War 2. Just seems obvious. It just seems obvious. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about all that down in the comments below. I'll go ahead and get here into the live chats. I see you guys have been pretty active, so I'm not gonna be able to get to everybody, but I do want to say once again, good morning to everybody. Like I said, I did see Tristan Duvall's Marvel Cinematic Universe here, Yova Rhodes, Hilalea, Comic Bro, Sir Nerdalot, Vlad Riot, Lorena Creole, Eli Gray, Maverick Pilgrim, one of our great Patreon supporters, Fanjecture, Coffee Breath, Two Brothers Comics, Fenrir Fire, Kermit the Log. Thank you guys so much for being here. Dylan's Comic Book Rants. I actually just did a live stream with Dylan's Comic Book Rants and Chaos and Comics on Saturday. You guys should go check that out. We were talking about the House of X, the Powers of X, and the Dawn of X series that are currently going on in Marvel Comics. Tom's Comic Book Reviews. Thank you so much for being here. For the Love of Movies. Thank you so much for being here, Kobe. Greatly appreciate that. Z Collects. Fanjecture says sausage roll sounds like a porn site. It does. It very much does. Captain Pennsylvania, thank you so much for being here. Again, another wonderful Patreon supporter. Thank you so much for being here. Maverick Pilgrim says, this sounds like a spotlight on the writer, nothing about the script or the movie. Right, and the thing is, it's not even confirmed that Kelly Sue DeConnick is the writer of the movie. Now, I gotta say that, you know, it would make sense that she is, because she actually wrote the current iteration, pretty much introduced the current iteration of the Carol Danvers Captain Marvel. So it would kind of make sense, and I know she was involved in the first Captain Marvel movie. As a matter of fact, she even had a cameo in it. Eli Gray says, same type of people that wanted to take down James Gunn. Yeah, and you know, I'm not really big on James Gunn when he got fired from, you know, Marvel Studios and wasn't going to be on board for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Believe me when I say I wasn't the slightest bit disappointed, and I'm not the biggest fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Captain Pennsylvania says pro-Iranian, like, oh yeah, like, oh my god, like. irrelevant. This is just irrelevant stuff, man. People's personal politics are just that. They're personal. Sure, a lot of these people do go out and espouse their personal politics on social media and in their comic books and in their movie scripts and stuff like that, which to me, I don't like that. You know, if you're going to do that stuff, do it in a good creative way that can be thought-provoking and not just something that's lazily written out there, you know, saying, orange man bad. Okay, like we get that. You know, you could just say the president or however, whatever other way there is to go out there and do those things. Kermit the Log said, I've seen these headlines and assumed it was truth. Yeah, they're not Kermit the Log. I'm sorry to break it to you, man. A lot of these people, but they're just full of crap, dude. Again, these stories haven't been put out by any respectable kind of website. Eli Gray says, if you think Disney or Feige will let politics into the movies, you're insane. Disney wants all families to see the movie and Bob Iger to visit them theme parks. Yes, yes. Now, however, the politics into the movies, I mean, they will let that in. The thing is I trust in Kevin Feige he's not going to let it be done in a way that's going to be so obvious and triggering to a lot of audiences. Now, a lot of people will debate that point when it comes to the Captain Marvel movie, but I mean, hell, we could really go watch a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and see that there are things in there that have to do with a lot of that stuff. You know, that being social justice and stuff like that. The things that seem to trigger people the most these days. Coffee Breath says, this is too funny. Eli Gray says, thanks for keeping them honest, Trinity. Anytime. Yoba Russ says, oh my god. Aggressively Relaxing says, did you guys know women have jobs too? This is effing bullshit. Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? Women are working these days. Oh my god. Yoba Rod says, all I care in a film is a well-written story. Yeah, agreed. And again, for me, like, I don't care if, I'm not one of those people that cares if people put politics into the movies. Like, largely, a lot of movies have politics in them. Again, I've said this a lot. Movies are there for people to express. They're expressive mediums, so that they express their things in the movies, in the comic books, in music. It seems like music is the place where people get away with it a lot more because, I mean, that's really, it's more largely accepted as that kind of a platform. Coffee Breath says, next, women will be able to wear pants. What is this world coming to? Yes. Eli Gray says, people should check out the Kimmel Brie hosted. She's not as PC as she's made out to be or a man-hater. She's getting married to her longtime boyfriend, who was the frontman from the band Phantom Planet. You know, I mean, I think she is as PC as she's made out to be. I just don't think that, you know, I think they've overly inflated and pushed that narrative a little too much. But I do believe that she's a little more politically correct than, I can't say than a lot of other people in Hollywood, because a lot of these people seem to feel the same way and always seem to want to use, you know, their chance when they're winning an award to push those things, which, you know, hey, completely they're right. But again, I don't watch these award shows to really know. Aggressively Relaxing says, imagine if she was as PC as she was made out to be. Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Vlad Wright says the story is on multiple sites. Yes, it is on multiple sites, but these stories are on multiple sites that are not great reliable sources. They're on a bunch of clickbait garbage websites. Yeah, I'm saying it. They are clickbait trash. How's that meme go? Trash. Yeah, they're not on any kind of reputable websites out there. When you see it being reported by, you know, maybe by like a Variety or is Wall Street Journal even reliable anymore? But by some of those bigger sites out there, people who do actually have media access, then you should take it a little more seriously. When you hear Kevin Feige actually come out and make that announcement, then you should take it seriously. When you're reading it from websites like Crunchyroll or the Triggered Gamer or whatever that site was and those kinds of things, it's bullshit. Feel free to go read the article, but they're full of crap and they are pushing their own agenda just as much as Brie Larson or Kelly Sue DeConnick is. They're pushing their own narrative. That's all it is. They're full of crap. Let's see. Don Draper says, taking him to church. I saw Mr. H Reviews video about the Captain Marvel 2 news. He basically said the same thing. I haven't seen that. I'm not sure who Mr. H Reviews is. Maybe I'll have to go and check that out. Eli Gray says quartering is powered by agenda. That's my big problem with all of those channels. Yeah, exactly. Me too. Like I said, for me, to me, a lot of these clickbait things, these leakers and all this stuff. I think largely a lot of these things harm actual fandom, actual fans of the movies. And I'm not talking about your normies, your casual fans. It's harmful to those people like me, people like you, people who are actually nerds and into this stuff, because they are pushing their own narrative. Because other people are out there. Sure, I get it. Other people out there are pushing their own narrative as well. But that's all they're doing, is they're trying to play on your outrage. That's all they're trying to do, is get you triggered to go out there and react and help you share their stories and make them bigger, which you can tell I just did here on this very channel, which is something I don't like to do, but I do feel that this was something relevant enough to talk about, because they're full of crap. They're full of crap. Don Draper. Eli says, where would they be without the hate and division? Absolutely. Aggressively Relaxing says, these people would argue SJWs are ruining knitting and MMA if there was money in it. Oh, they are ruining that, aren't they, aggressively? I'm waiting to watch your video about it. Maverick Pilgrim says, I think an Oscar for Endgame would essentially be one for the achievements in the MCU in general. Yeah, agreed. Aggressively Relaxing says, I wonder who the top person is in the yarn world. We're going to take him down a notch. Right? And Aggressively Relaxing is definitely the man to do that. In case you guys don't know, Aggressively Relaxing is the godfather. Of the Fandom Menace. You can go check out his channel. And check out a video he did. He was the first one to make a Star Wars hate video. I can assure you that. And Aggressively Relaxing is one of my favorite content creators here on YouTube. You guys need to go check out his channel. And if you're still here, Aggressively Relaxing, please feel free to drop your link down in the comments below. Black Hat Cinephile says, I didn't see Captain Marvel 2 on their Phase 4 and 5 lists, so I was hoping they had scrapped that series. It's not scrapped. They're definitely going to be. Fanjex says, oh, classy. That's just Black Cat Cinephile, man. He's all good, man. They haven't announced it. I mean, they announced all their Phase 4 slate. Obviously, teased some things coming up for Phase 5, but we did recently see that Hawkeye has been put on hold for right now. So he's kind of on the back burner, and, probably going to get pushed back into more of that Phase 5 stuff. But I believe Captain Marvel 2 is going to be part of that Phase 5 slate. And like I said, I think it's going to be one of the bigger event type movies, and will possibly be called Captain Marvel Civil War 2. Does that not just make sense? For one, it's Captain Marvel 2, but then it's Captain Marvel Civil War 2, playing off of Captain Marvel or Captain America Civil War. I just think it only seems to make sense. In a whole lot of other senses out there, I just think it just seems to make the most sense. Eli Gray. Oh man, we skipped ahead here in the chats. You guys are being very active. Thank you so much. Eli Gray says, it made $1 billion. It's coming out. Remember, at the end of the day, it's a business. It grossed higher than a lot of other MCU films. Yeah, and I believe there's reasons for that. Not anything really more than, it was the first female-led Marvel Cinematic Universe films. People out there will argue that, Disney went out there and bought tickets and all that kinds of stuff, and I don't believe that. I do believe that, they really just largely got a lot of female audiences into the theaters, be that little girls and mothers out there, and just other young women, and just women in general out there to see this movie who wouldn't normally go see an Avengers, a Captain America, an Iron Man. I think that's one of the reasons why it did so well. Because to me, it's not one of the better Marvel Cinematic Universes movies. For me, it falls somewhere right about the middle. It's a decent movie, but again, what it does to the legacy of the actual Captain Marvel character is an actual travesty. And anybody who feels that way, hey, I agree with you. But I will say, overall, the movie itself, is a decent movie. It's a decent movie for what they did with it, for the movie itself. Chillmonger, my brother from another mother. You guys should go check out Chillmonger's channel as well. Says the same Spidey won't be in two universes. Absolutely. Sony will have a Spider-Man. Yes. MCU will have a Spider-Man. Yes. The experiences Sony Spider-Man has will play no effect on the MCU's, even if Tom Holland plays both. I absolutely agree with you 100%. Again, Chillmonger is another one of my favorite content creators here on YouTube. You guys should definitely go check out his channel. He didn't get the name Chill to go with that monger for no reason. Black Hat Cinephile says, I don't believe it made $1 billion. Well, I mean, it did. I mean, it did make $1 billion. But again, like I said, whether you believe that they went out there and made purchased tickets or not is a completely different story. And certainly one to be argued. People are going to have their thoughts on that. Aggressively Relaxing says, we haven't gone more than 3 years without a superhero movie since 1939. You could be very right on that, because I know they were doing a lot of these things. Maybe not on the big screen, but they've been doing them for quite a while. Let's see. Skate for Greatness, thank you so much for being here. Black Cat Cinephile says there aren't enough insane gender studies, narcissistic phonies to make it $1 billion. Oh, Black Cat, you crack me up, man. Aggressively Relaxing says Captain Marvel was able to get over $1 billion because of its strong conservative message. Conservative message. Me and my church filled our local movie theaters weekend after weekend. Aggressively Relaxing, you are too funny. Vlad Riot says, I was bored when I saw Captain Marvel. I had to rewatch several parts because I spaced out all the time. That movie was not for me at all. So many flaws and weird turns. I can agree with you there. I mean, it's not a perfect movie. I mean, no movie is, but it's certainly not a perfect movie out there. Coffee Breath says, I didn't really like Captain Marvel, but I'm not mad at it. Yeah, me neither. I like the movie itself. You can go watch my reviews of it and stuff out here, and so watch me do the shilling. But I think it was a decent movie. I mean, again, not the best movie they've made, or anything like that. So I'm not gonna church it up and act like it's some great movie and it had a whole bunch of great things in it. I mean, it didn't have that. It didn't even have groundbreaking effects in it. As a matter of fact, some of the CGI in it really wasn't too good. You watch there towards the end when she starts flying and everything, and some of the CGI there when she's throwing her glass and all that stuff. The CG doesn't look well rendered throughout the movie. Skate for Greatness says, if it's on the internet, it must be true. Very true. Very true. Let's see. Aggressively Relaxing says Captain Marvel was more of a pro-American military traditional film that appeals to us in real America. It was a risk that the average liberal Marvel audience would get upset. Aggressively, you are too funny, man. You crack me up far too much, man. Black Cat Cinephile says, no women were in movies, and there were no female superheroes before Brie. Women didn't even exist until Brie fought God and made him create them. Women and ethnics owe everything to Brie. I see what you're doing there, Black Cat Cinephile. You're being serious, I can tell. Eli Gray says, I saw Return of the Jedi as a kid on its release date and forced my parents to take me. Star Wars bums me out too. There were mistakes made everywhere out of the original trilogy. Yeah, certainly. I mean, again, no movies are perfect. Aggressively Relaxing says, yeah, sorry about the fandom menace, everyone. I am trying to reorganize it to be mad at the Anne of Green Gables remake now. And you know what? Honestly, that is something we should be mad about. Because you know what? Anne of Green Gables, the original movies that came out back in the 80s, those movies are perfect. No need for those movies to be remade. If you haven't watched the Anne of Green Gables original movies, I want to say they were a trilogy, but I think there was maybe 4 of them. You need to go out and watch those. Those movies were really great. Plus, they got that redheaded girl in there, and I just have a thing for gingers. I love gingers. Anyway, Flat Rice says, so who is Wonder Woman? I'm not going to comment. Captain Pennsylvania says, he's being sarcastic. It's what Brie Larson thinks in her mind. Yes, right, yeah. Eli Gray says, Linda Carter? Ooh, yes. Linda Carter, and you gotta say, I gotta admit, even in her golden years here, Linda Carter still looks pretty good. And how about Christy Brinkley? Oh my God, have you seen? I mean, I don't even know if Christy Brinkley has had surgery or anything. When I've seen pictures of her, I'm like, she still looks pretty natural for the most part. If she's had plastic surgery, she's got a good plastic surgeon. I'll tell you that. But anyway, guys, I want to go ahead and get on here to some of the next things that I wanted to talk about. Recently, here over the weekend, my wife went out and rented Judy, which is one of the movies that has been nominated here for the Oscars for some stuff. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this movie. I thought Judy was a very good movie. Stars Renee Zellweger and cast of other people. I'm not. I recognize a lot of the people. I just don't know all their names right here off the top of my head. But I gotta say, this movie was really good. I like watching biopics about people, musicians, movie stars, and stuff like that. Which really, I mean, just go watch. You could just go trace back their careers, watch their movies, and read news articles and things on them. But I thought this movie Judy was a very good movie, very well written movie. Now it's a dramatization, so I don't know that it is word for word everything in here happened. Me and my wife were even kind of debating. There's a couple in this movie that I'm like, I wonder if that really even happened, if that was part of the true story. And she's like, of course it was. It's in the movie. I'm like, yeah, but they changed things in the movie for dramatic reasons, and that would be, in this case, it would probably be for representation reasons, where we see there are a couple of guys that are in a couple of gay men that are in a relationship that were really big fans of Judy Garland's and went to some of her. We're going to a lot of her London performances in there, and they went and spent a night with Judy as she went to their house, and they made her omelets, which was a complete mess. And she sat there and spent the night with them and hung out, and they really enjoyed it. I'm not sure how true that part is in the movie, but everything else in here seems like it could be pretty accurate. The downfall, I guess you could say, of this star. She was a childhood star. One thing I really did like about this movie is, for one, I kind of regret not going to see this movie at the theater, because seeing a lot of the singing parts, where she's up there on the stage with her band and everything, I thought was really really great stuff. Just seeing those musical performances and things like that, and that's one of the things when you're going out and watching these kind of movies that always seems to make them be pretty good is the music and things that they bring into them. Just like when they did. That was the one they just recently did about Freddie Mercury and Queen. Very, very good movie as well. The one I haven't seen was the recent Elton John biopic. I didn't get a chance to see that neither, but I did see the other one. I thought it was pretty good. But let's see here. Judy, yeah, there we go. Judy was starring Renee Zellweger. Oh, and this young lady here too, Jessie Buckley. Very beautiful young lady. She played basically the aide, I guess you could say, of Judy when she got to England and stuff like that. She was a very, very beautiful actress, and I can't place who exactly it is that she reminds me of, but she reminds me of somebody. Finn Wittrock played Mickey Deans. Rufus Sewell played Sid Luft, which Rufus Sewell is a very good actor as well. It also got Michael Gambon, who is a good actor. I know I've seen him in plenty of movies. And this guy right here, Royce Pearson, he played the pianist there in the band for Judy when she was doing the live performances. And something about him, I want to see this guy in more movies, because he just had a presence there when he was in the movie. But altogether, I think the movie is something, if you guys are into seeing these kind of movies, one, I think you guys should definitely go check out, because the movie is really good. I mean, obviously it tells the story here of Judy as she's, basically her downfall. Some of the stuff that I thought was really great in this movie is, something that, God, I can't remember who it was. I can't remember who it was that I seen recently in an interview, or maybe they were talking about a lot of the things that happen to us in our childhood are things that we hold on to throughout our whole lives and carry us and become part of who we are. And I think that, and this movie also spoke to a lot of things that go on in Hollywood with childhood actors, where we see a lot of the things going on where she was. Where she was a childhood star. The movie opens up on that scene where she was a child and being, basically she was being spoken to here by Louis B. Meyer, who is basically, I guess, like the head of whatever studio was made the Wizard of Oz films. But you know, he's sitting there talking to her about a lot of things. You can see throughout the movie just you know how they wouldn't allow her to eat because she couldn't gain weight while she was on set. They were sitting there constantly giving her different prescription drugs to help keep her awake, to help her sleep, and you know, obviously these kinds of things help create a dependency on when it comes to when it comes to these different kinds of things. And these are some of the aspects of the movie that I think are really important, stuff out there that should probably be highlighted in these kinds of movies. You know, because these I mean, there's no denying that some of this stuff actually does happen. If not all of it actually does happen on movie sets, and not only with childhood actors or child actors, but even adults as well, where you know they've got to stay skinny for a certain role. They've got to do different things like that, you know, dietary things to and a lot of things at times can be very unhealthy and have very huge effects on people. And we can see here that she kind of became dependent on these drugs, dependent on alcohol, and to the point where at the end of the movie you don't really ever see her, Judy, actually eat any actual food. You don't see Judy Garland eating any food or anything. You know, at the very beginning of the movie they make it obvious how she's on a date with Mickey Rooney that was obviously just done for PR reasons. We see that they won't even allow her to have a bite of a burger, and eventually she ends up rebelling, something that she kind of started to do throughout her career. And this is just something to be expected when you out of a childhood actor, especially when you're put in situations like that. I think this movie really spoke good about a lot of these psychological things that happen with childhood actors. Even when she was on set for her birthday party, she ended up jumping into this little pool that was there on set, and you know, they kind of worked a lot of analogies along with that as well. So guys, if this is breaking up, let me know. It's this thing is telling me for some reason that YouTube isn't receiving enough to maintain smooth streaming, so let me know down in the comments below. We're getting close to wrapping it up here anyway. But yeah, so I really did like this movie, Judy. Like I said, it has a lot of great narratives that it's telling here. Great things woven throughout with a lot of, you know, I guess like the actor's journey, especially with the childhood actor. Very great things. And, you know, I've talked a lot about these kinds of things here on my channel as well. Not a whole lot, but I've talked about them as well, where you know, I'm not saying that you know drugs are largely overall are bad, but to me, when it comes down to prescription pills and alcohol, these things are absolutely bad. For one, I think they're bad because you know, people think just because they're legal, just because a doctor prescribes you pills, thinks that they're good. Absolutely not true. Doctors get kickbacks to prescribe these drugs and things like that. And we can see that a lot of people have a lot of these drugs have very bad side effects. And then you combine those with alcohol, it's just a very disastrous outcome. You can go through the history of musicians who have died using prescription pills and alcohol. This is one of the leading causes of deaths of, you know, of musicians and even actors, you know, just any artists in general. These things, they're really not good for you. They're really not good for you whatsoever. But I think a lot of the reason people, you know, don't look at them, down on them as bad, is because alcohol and prescription pills are legal. So it's okay. Renee Zellweger came in. Okay, people, it looks like we're back. Okay. Now, as I was saying, I apologize for that. My internet has been really bad this week, as I'm getting ready to call the internet company, because it seems like every day over like the past couple weeks, my internet has actually just dropped out, just completely dropped out. It seems like it'd be about 7 o'clock in the evening. My internet just drops out for whatever reason. Now, as I was saying, all I was really saying was prescription pills are bad for you. Alcohol, it's all bad for you. It's all subjective to how bad it is. But you know what? The thing is don't, you know, substance abuse of any kind is a bad thing. And you know, if you're doing things like that, hey man, just, you shouldn't be doing it. For one, substance abuse is bad, and you know, just because something is legal doesn't mean that it's good for you. Okay, now the last thing I wanted to touch on before we end here, and again, guys, I apologize for that. is the last movie thing I wanted to talk about was the movie Togo. I'm not sure if you guys are subscribed to Disney Plus, but Togo is a movie that aggressively relaxing here in the chat, if he's still here, has been egging me on about to go and watch, and I finally got to watch Togo here over the weekend. This movie, I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but let me know down in the comments below if you have. This movie was very good movie. It stars, let's see, I know it's got Willem Dafoe. Let's see here. It's got Willem Dafoe, Julianne Nicholson, who played his very beautiful wife, Christopher Heyerdahl. Was playing the mayor. Richard Dormer was the doctor. It's got plenty of other people in here as well, supporting cast. This is a very good movie about this dog who this man and his dog team had went to. It takes place in Alaska, and there's a very bad storm getting ready to come on. But what happened is there is an outbreak of diphtheria that happened. A lot of children are sick in this town, and pretty much the town is kind of quarantining itself off from pretty much from the outside world and trying to keep everybody away from each other to help prevent the spread of this diphtheria outbreak. And the town comes together. They're having a town hall meeting at the very beginning to try to find a way with this bad storm coming on to get medicine in their town to help cure these kids. And Willem Dafoe plays this character who has a very great team of dogs. He's a dog trainer with sled dogs and things like that. And the movie has a bunch of what would you say, a bunch of flashbacks to where they first got this dog named Togo, where this dog was first born, and the dog had really been largely overall a lot of problems. This was the dog from hell, and he did everything to try to get rid of this dog. And at first, he tried to keep the dog contained, tried to get it, keep it in its pen outside. He kept digging out because he wanted to be part of this team. He locked him in his little shed, tried to keep him in the house, a whole bunch of things to try to keep this dog. But this dog had the heart of a champion, and we see that through the course of this movie, through these different flashbacks and things. And one of the last ones was when this dog actually helped them win this sledding race. And a lot of these dogs were undersized. And a lot of people, just kind of looked down on this man and his dogs and his sled team. But there was people out there who obviously believed. But it was a really, really great movie. And then the city looked to him to trek, to go on this. I want to say it was a 600-mile trek to get through this inclement weather to get this medicine to bring back to the townsfolk. And to help cure a lot of these kids, because a lot of the kids in the town had come down with this diphtheria outbreak. And it was a very, very good movie, where we see just a lot of the things happening here, and we just kind of followed the struggles as he went through all this inclement weather to get this medicine. And some of the stops that he had made, and then at one point they had kind of made it a relay from where they were getting the medicine from to bring people to bring him the medicine. Very good dramatic movie, and it's one of these kind of movies. Some people would probably fall asleep. I'm surprised my wife didn't fall asleep during it because she sleeps during everything. But the movie itself was really good, very dramatic, and it was a very, very, very heartwarming tale. You know what I mean? And it was very good, and we see that a lot. The town's mayor, kind of doubted this man, even though he went to this man to try to get this medicine there for the townspeople. A very, very great movie as we see, this dog kind of going through. Oh man, okay, it's saying I'm dropping frames again, but I'm sure you guys can still hear me. But we see that this man was training these dogs, and this was kind of this dog's journey. And it was a really great movie. In the end, they did get the medicine to the town, and the kids did end up getting cured. A lot of people at this point were very, very happy again to get lag. I'm sorry, guys. Again, my internet it's jacking up. So if it happens again, guys, feel free to leave. I completely understand. Plus, I'm getting ready to wrap it up here pretty soon anyway. But it was a very great movie, full of a bunch of drama and everything with this young puppy dog, and it was a very cute movie. The one complaint I have about this movie is that, through the course of the whole movie, they're building it up, and I started, about halfway through, I was sad and I was crying the whole last half of the movie, thinking this dog's gonna die. And then, what, I was disappointed when I seen that this dog did not die on screen. And man, I'm telling you, I was disappointed. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, I kind of did expect that it was going to happen with all the foreshadowing that was going on. But one thing I want to say is, them people better well have fed that bacon. They better have fed that bacon to Togo, because that was his prize. A lot of the townspeople came together and went to these people to thank him and the dog for getting this medicine and saving the town. Basically, they basically saved the town by getting this medicine to them. And they better have fed that bacon to that dog. Dang it, Togo better have got that prize bacon. If not, I hope you feel good about yourself for eating Togo's prize bacon. That was his bacon to eat. He's the one who brought home the bacon. He's the one who brought all the notoriety. He's the one who saved the town, this young Togo. And apparently they had erected a statue of these other dogs who had brought the medicine to the actual town, because he was met in a relay. And Togo was overshadowed. But apparently in 2011, they went ahead and made things right and gave Togo his due notoriety. Again, guys, I think it was a very good movie. One, I think you guys should definitely go and check out. But before my internet decides to break again and I have to get on the phone and talk to my internet service provider and tell them they better give me a free month or a free year of internet service, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream here again. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in to the 2nd Street Marvel today. I hope you all have a very good day. Like I said, go out and check LB from the Lonely Banter. Go check out his live stream that he did about all the Oscar nominations that were announced. You feel free to go back and rewind this movie as I went through out there and debunked a lot of these Captain Marvel 2 rumors going on out there. Whole bunch of things flying around there. So make sure that you guys go, if you didn't check the very beginning of this live stream out. Thank you guys so much for being here. And any of you guys who returned from when my internet had dropped out, thank you guys so much for being here. Again, don't forget, Wednesday is new comic book day. We're going to have plenty of comic books coming out and hitting the store shelves. And I'm going to have some reviews coming up here on the channel as well before rolling into Wednesday, as I haven't got a whole lot of reviews done this week. And you know what? We're not getting any X-Men books this week. Oh, Marvel's slowing down a little, losing out on that money, right? Anyway, you guys have a very good day. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.